Hello everybody, it's Mermaid Phantom, Traverse City, Michigan's professional mermaid. I'm pretty sure you know that already, but it's just a habit. Today we're going to be talking about how to use crystals as a professional mermaid. Now I know there are a lot of people who like to use crystals for their metaphysical properties. I don't know what you believe, I'm not going to judge you on whatever it is that you believe, but this video isn't about the magical or metaphysical properties of crystals. This is more about the practical ways of how to use crystals to help with your performances and events as a professional mermaid or merman. Before I tell you about the 8 sort of different ways you can use crystals as a mermaid performer, I do want to tell you where you can get crystals. I get all of my crystals from one of two places. I like to keep them in my abalone shell. I get them from a local place called Higher Self, or I like to get them from a place called the White Witch Parlour. This is actually a quartz sphere from the White Witch Parlour, one of my favorite crystals that I own. I actually am an affiliate of hers because I love the store so much and I want to share it with you. So if you want a discount, there is a discount in the description and also a link to her store. That will earn me a commission, but this is stuff that I buy and I use, and you will see a lot of videos with this crystal in it because I love it. Now let's move on with the 8-ish different ways you can use crystals as a performing mermaid or merman. And the first tip I'm going to give you I discovered just a little bit ago when I was working at Tallulah Uncaged. I'll post a video for that there. Very fun event. This is my second year being there and I love it there. It's so much fun. You should come visit me sometime. Anyways, I discovered that if there are children who are slightly uneasy or overwhelmed by the fact that there is a giant mermaid, like their dream has come true and it's right in front of them and they don't know what to think of it, and they're a little hesitant to come up and say hello to you, that if you take a selenite sphere, which only use selenite on land. This is not a water-safe crystal. I'll talk about water-safe crystals in another video, but you can take a selenite sphere. As you can see, it looks really pretty. It kind of shimmers with its own magical internal light. And if you have one of those with you and you start playing around with it, I will tell you that there is not a single being on this earth that can resist shiny objects. Children are not an exception. Whether they are excited to see you or stressed out about the fact that you exist, they cannot resist this little sphere here. I call it my magical pearl. I tell them all about my magical pearl that I found in the lake, and it's just like this beautiful thing that they can touch. Don't let them hold it because if they drop it, it might shatter and that kind of ruins the magic a little bit. But they can touch it, they can feel it. It's a good way to kind of lure children in if they're scared because it will catch their eye. And they're much more likely to want to come touch the shiny crystal than your tail if they are terrified of you at the moment. Little tip for you. So use a selenite crystal, or you can even use a quartz sphere if you would like, or any sort of spherical crystal that is shiny and will just catch the eye of a passerby, and that is a good way to attract people who are a little bit uneasy. The second thing you can do as a professional mermaid or any sort of mermaid or merman is to wear crystal jewelry and accessories. And I know this is kind of a given and a lot of people already do this. Make sure you're wearing water-safe ones in the water, of course. These are typically ones that do not end in "ite" for the most part. As a general rule of thumb, you can't go wrong with a quartz crystal. Those are typically water safe, with the exception of, I believe, an aqua aura quartz crystal, because like it's kind of slightly enhanced by humans, I believe. And I think the shiny finish can come off or something, but for the most part, quartz crystals are safe. Amethyst, emerald, ruby, those things I think are typically safe for use in the water. I'm not sure about chlorine, but they won't dissolve in fresh water or salt water from what I'm aware. And do your research. But crystals as jewelry and accessories are a great idea if you may encounter a child or are worried about encountering a child that may have a shellfish allergy, because if you are wearing seashells, any sort of seashell accessories, that can cause anaphylaxis in a child if they like touch it and like stick it in their mouth or something, depending on how severe the allergy is. And it's always best to err on the side of safety. Another thing you can do with crystals as a performing mermaid is you can take all of your crystals that you have that are safe for kids to touch, and you can put them in your treasure chest when you go to an event on land, and you can just use them as like a show and tell sort of piece. You can pass the crystals around, let the kids touch the crystals, maybe have a little special story about where you found each crystal or gem. And I have a bunch of them right here in my abalone shell, but I don't want to put them in a shell because it's not really the safest place for them, just where I stick them. And if you have it in your treasure chest, it's just a fun little thing for kids to look at, for you to tell stories about, and for everyone to kind of touch if they are crystals that are safe to the touch. And everybody loves crystals. Everybody is fascinated by crystals. Name one person who isn't, and I guarantee you that you cannot. So yeah, crystals in your treasure chest are great for on-land events, a big group story time. Fourth, unless I already said fourth, is if you are reading the story Tallulah Mermaid to any group of kids or to any specific child. I've done this many times before. I was in Butowski once reading this, actually twice, and this book does talk about mermaids having special crystals or gems that really make their tails shine. It's a really great book. I'll link it down in the description if you'd like to get it. It's a great storytime book all about the mermaids of the Great Lakes. It's amazing. In this story, they talk about this mermaid having a special crystal, and she's searching for her special crystal or gem. It's a mouthful to say. And when you're reading this story, obviously your tail is not going to be the same as this mermaid's tail because their crystals in the story correlate with the color of their tail. But you can take a crystal that matches the color of your tail or is similar to the color of your tail and take it along with you when you read the story. And when you're done reading the story, you can tell all the kids about your special magical crystal that you have and how you found it, and you can pass it around for everyone to touch and look at. And it could be a lot of fun because, again, who doesn't love crystals? And this book is amazing. So it can be like an interactive piece to go along with this story, and the story is just great in general. So just read it and get it. It's amazing. The fifth way you can use crystals as a professional mermaid is to use maybe a crystal necklace or bracelet, or maybe a special crystal that you hold. I've done that before with this crystal right here. And use it as a way to explain how you transform from a mermaid to a human at events. That way, if you are a mermaid one moment and you're wearing this beautiful necklace, and then a couple minutes later when your shift's done and you're like getting your tail off and you've like, you know, walked out to collect your things or to talk with a parent or something, and you still have that necklace on and the kids are asking, how come you're a human now? Why do you have legs? You can say, well, I have this magical enchanted crystal that the fairies gave me, and it gives me the ability to transform and blah, blah, blah. You can create your own story, of course, but they can be very helpful for that because kids look at a crystal. Crystals are in a lot of movies where they're like magical and have all these powers and mysterious stuff about them. And when they see that crystal, they're probably going to be more likely to believe that the crystal is magical, instead of you just saying like, hey, I just can transform and it happened and that's that. You look at a crystal and they're pretty magical looking, so there's no denying that it could possibly transform you, right? Another thing you can do with crystals is make a magic wand and use this wand as a prop. I have a tutorial for how you can make this 100% natural crystal wand. I will link it in the description below. It's actually a very fun tutorial. I'm quite proud of it. But you can use these as a prop at events too. You can have kids tell you their wish and you can pretend to make it come true and whatever. I guess that's kind of a little bit like lying, but you never know, maybe it will come true. Depending on how crazy the dream is. I've had a kid ask for a unicorn before and I felt really bad. I'm like, oh, you're probably not gonna get a unicorn, but I'll do my best. And you can also pass this to the kids and let them wave it around and try to make a wish. Just be careful that you don't have any like pointy pieces that could cut them or whatever. But yeah, you can use like a magic wand as a prop for all sorts of situations. Just don't take it in the water unless you replace the wooden handle with something else, or if you use E6000 to fasten the crystal to the wand base, that might be okay. Haven't tried it myself yet, don't really recommend taking it in the water, but maybe we can come up with a water-safe crystal wand tutorial if you'd like that. Anyways, cute prop. There is a sea star wand that I do have a tutorial for as well, but again, that one you might have issues with allergies. Not really sure where sea stars fall into the allergy category, but this is safe. It's just like all natural materials, so it should be good to go. Fun little prop. The seventh And one of the last tips I have for you, there's one more after this one, I think you'll really appreciate it, so you better wait till the end. The last tip I have for you is to take a crystal. This is actually my crystal I use when I read Tallulah, Mermaid of the Great Lakes. Forgot to mention that. It is my special crystal. I love it so much. It fits my hand perfectly. I'm getting off topic though. The 7th tip I have for you is to use crystals for photo shoots and for videos. You can use them in the water as well, salt water or fresh water. Water safe crystals, of course, again, these are both quartz crystals. You can use them in the water to just kind of create a very mystical look to your photo shoots or to your video work. If you work in an aquarium, you can always talk with the people at the aquarium to see if you can take one in the water. But do be aware that when you're trying to swim, it's really hard to swim if you're grasping a crystal, so be prepared for that. But they do look cool underwater, especially the clear quartz. It catches the light. Sometimes you'll see like a rainbow in it, and it's so beautiful. You get different types of clear quartz crystals, not really clear quartz, but you can get different types of quartz that look really cool and are very eye-catching. So that's not necessarily for performances unless you are a mermaid that works in an aquarium or a tank of some sort. Just as long as your tank's not chlorine. I'm not sure how these will react. Do your research. But these look great for videos and photo shoots that are underwater, and they're just fun to swim with because then you can stare at them. And I personally feel like this one increases my breath hold because I'm so busy staring at it that I forget to breathe anyways. So there's that. And the 8th and final tip I have for you, I'm just kidding, don't actually throw crystals at people, but like, I mean, if you are in a really bad situation, you probably could hurt somebody with this, just saying. But probably shouldn't do that, so I didn't tell you that one. Don't do that. I've never done it, and I probably never will. Unless somebody is harassing a child, then maybe I might have to chuck this baby at somebody. Yeah, so those are my tips on how to use crystals as a professional mermaid or merman. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please let me know how you liked it and what kind of crystal you plan on getting, because crystals are amazing and you should start your collection like right now. Again, links in the description for where to get some crystals. Please let me know which ones you're interested in because I am kind of obsessed and I always have been. You don't have to be a witch to like crystals. I'm not technically a witch even though I dress like one, but I do love crystals and you can love them too, and there's nothing wrong with it. So yeah, let me know in the comments and I will see you next Friday.